You see all of this? This is 3 a.m. realness. I packed in 30 minutes because I accidentally fell asleep on the couch. So y'all remember me how I usually look, right? This is what you guys should remember. Don't judge the crustiness that is going on right here. But we shall get through this. I'll come back correct in the next video. Promise. Hey guys, so if you're seeing this, I should be in Canada right now. Surprise. That's where my last minute trip before school starts up is to going to Montreal and Toronto. So any of you guys that are in Canada, follow me on Snapchat so you can see what I'm up to, keep up with me, maybe even do a meetup, but for sure tell me all the good places to go. But I just have the video up right here, and I'm just gonna go through you guys' questions and answer them for you, as well as just give you a little more background on some of the things you guys asked about. So the first question is from Soft Breezy. It says 15 interviews is amazing. How much did that cost? How many acceptances? Do you mind sharing your stats, MCAT/GPA? And how did I decide on a med school? So that's a mouthful. So I guess first things first, how much did that cost? A lot. Because I applied to roughly 20 something. I actually lost more money on the acceptance, like holding your acceptance with a deposit, because it takes me forever to make up my mind because I like to go through every little point. So how many acceptances? So yeah, 15 interviews. I got, shoot, I'm getting old. I either got 9 acceptances and like 2 waitlists, I think that's what it is. It's either 9. Do you mind sharing your stats, MCAT, GPA? I'm gonna say I do mind, and that's not necessarily for me. I just don't want to give you guys my stats because I don't want to deter you guys from applying. Because I know when I was going through the application phase, people would always quote their metrics and ask if their scores combining GPA and MCAT were enough to get them into medical school and all of that. And I'm not here to be a metric for you guys to strive towards. I'm here to show you guys that it's attainable as long as you strive for it. So in response to the MCAT GPA question, I'm going to link you guys down below to a chart that the AAMC has that shows you MCAT scores and GPA values stratified, and shows you how many applicants applied and how many applicants got accepted with each combination of GPA scores and MCAT scores. So yeah, take a look at that if you want to compare yourself. So Marlene Don't Stop says, not sure you said this, but what was your GPA going into medical school? So my GPA was pretty high. Like I said earlier, I'm not really trying to focus on my metrics, but just to motivate y'all to do the best that you guys can. But I would say shoot for something over a 3.5. Like if you can keep well above 3.5, you'll be in great shape. But I said if you need a number to like keep yourself to, you want to have over a 3.5. I can say the average MCAT at my school is a 34, and I think the average GPA is a 3.7. I'll double check on that. I should know these things. How did I decide on med school? So I'm actually going to have a 6-part series here on this channel. It's coming up the next week because I will be in Canada this week. So I may or may not get to actually film parts of it, but it'll all start to be uploaded next week. Part 1 will be academics, part 2 will be extracurricular activities and volunteering, and then it'll just chop through the rest of it, like application process, interview, and then deciding on a med school and like financing and budgeting. All of that will be on a 6-part video starting next week, so look out for that. The next question by Candace is, could you do a financing video in medical school and talk about how you afford to take those trips in medical school? Which is funny because I'm filming this at the airport, so I'm on a trip again. But I'll definitely do a separate video about how to take trips and to find ways to enjoy yourself during med school. I feel like that deserves a video on its own. And then yeah, the budgeting and financing videos will be a part of the 6-part series that I just said that will kick off next week. So Cami Cole says, I'm starting college this fall, so I really appreciate this video. You're welcome. I like hearing about different paths to med school. Okay, just wondering, what major did you decide on? Okay, so I never thought that I would end up in the major that I did. I was definitely looking at your biology, your neuroscience, contemplated physics, but I knew I didn't like it. But I ended up majoring in, it's a mouthful, majoring in history of medicine, science, and technology. I minored in chemistry and global health. And then I did the pre-med pathway at Duke, so yeah, that's what I studied at college. Where do you go to med school? I feel like that's like the most frequently asked question on this channel. I really don't know why you guys
Attention in the terminal, attention in the terminal. Will Roger?
Like I said again, I go to a medical school in Ohio. That's all I'm gonna say, is all I'm gonna disclose to you guys, for multiple reasons. One, it's the internet. I'm kind of a conspiracy theorist. All I watch is Law and Order and like CSI and Criminal Minds, so y'all catch my drift on that. The other reason is that if I disclose to you guys what school I'm affiliated with, then my views, my platform can all tie back to the school, and that just gets hairy with a lot of red tape and policies. And I just want to say that, like, I'm not affiliated with any institution. I have my own thoughts, and that's what I'm putting on this channel, and not any that reflect on any institution. So that's the main reason why I don't tell you guys where I go to school, just to avoid the red tape that comes with it. So if you guys could respect my privacy, I would be very grateful. But you know, if y'all see me, you can ask me, I'll tell you in person. I don't really care. But yeah. Hey, so someone asked, please, can I contact you? You guys can contact me at the email that is in the description box of all of my videos. Shoot me an email if you have any questions, want some advice, or just want to talk about anything really. Shoot me an email, and whenever I check it, I'll try and send a response ASAP. Sometimes I drop the ball, I'm human, but definitely shoot me an email and we can go ahead and start chopping it up like that. So Christina Littlejohn says, how many medical schools did you apply to? I think I applied to roughly like 25, 28. That's how many, like first hand that I did. I don't really know how many secondaries I actually turned in, but yeah. Another question about how I end up picking a medical school. This comes from Bryce. So short story, it was a combination of the curriculum, how much money they were giving me, and location, because I wanted to leave the South. Just because I'm from North Carolina, and if I did leave the South, then I would never do it really in my life in terms of like long-term living. So yeah, more detail on that in the next coming series. Tylena M asks, did you shadow doctors in undergrad? Yes, I started shadowing physicians in high school. I worked at your local like free clinics. I also volunteered at, like when I say worked, I mean volunteered, I didn't get paid. I volunteered at the local health department in my hometown. I shadowed my primary care physician, and then I shadowed people that were in the college network, so Duke's hospital. I was able to do that because I had a volunteer position in the cancer clinic. So I was there 4 hours a week roughly, and in addition to getting healthcare experience, those volunteer hours rack up, especially if you start early. So imagine if you start volunteering in the hospital for maybe even just 1 hour a week or 2 hour a week. It just depends on how much the position requires you to do. If you did 1 hour a week, right, in the hospital from freshman year all the way to junior year, that's like a lot of hours. You know, you can get up to like 150 hours just by doing 1 hour a week for 3 years. Like, so, and if you want to do more, you can do more. So yeah, those are good ways to do it. Look down below for ideas about how to volunteer, how to shadow, things like that. You asked about research and internships. When did I do that? So internships, I did not do any internships per se, just because I didn't see the need to, because I wanted to apply straight after undergrad. So then my summers were kind of taken up with summer session during first summer. Second summer was SMDP, which I guess you can call an internship, because it was a summer program dedicated to exposing you to medicine, had classes, shadowing, and all things like that. So I guess that's my internship. And for research, I did research during the summer of my freshman year, and I did research during my sophomore year. So during the summer of my freshman year, it was in an immunology lab, so that was bench research. I was just a student research assistant, so I just helped the grad students with whatever they were working on. In the immunology lab, it was working with zebrafish to find if any of the DNA manipulations that they were doing, like they would like change the fin red, or like they were just doing a lot of changes to the DNA to see if it would react to the microbacteria. Some of the zebrafish have a microbacterium that naturally affects them, and seeing if any of those DNA changes change their susceptibility to the microbacterium, which would mirror tuberculosis in the human host. So that's what the immunology lab was looking at that I worked on during the summer of my freshman year. And then my sophomore year, the research that I did was clinical. So I got exposures to both sides. So I was a student clinical research assistant, and that was in the asthma clinic, and worked on various studies, basically what you would call your chart reviews, now that I'm in medical school. So yeah, and then now I'm doing research in medical school, so it's there if you want to do it. Like I said before, there are many ways that you can do research. I think that pretty much wraps up the frequently asked questions from my pre-med journey video. I hope this was able to give you a little more insight onto my path and has answered your questions. If not, leave them down below. I'll type a response or answer them in the upcoming series. So I'm gonna go and try and board my plane. They're pre-boarding right now, so by the time you guys see this, I will be in Canada. So I hope you guys have a great summer. Not saying your summer is over, but mine is coming to an end. So stay tuned for the next upload. I'll try and continue uploading while I'm in Canada, so you guys can see what I'm doing in close to real time. But if not, follow my Snapchat, because when I get Wi-Fi, I'll be posting my snaps. So definitely follow me on there so you guys can keep up with me and communicate with me. Alright, see you guys in the next video. Bye.